Episode 76. I'm joined with Nick Gwynn, Connor Carsons, Isaac Stolmeyer. How we doing?
What you doing, man?
Horrible.
They never thought we'd
Why?
make it to this episode.
Why am I doing horrible? Because I know my fate. I know what awaits me tomorrow morning or afternoon. 24 hours from now, the Sixers are going to be eliminated from the playoffs for the 50th year in a row by the Boston Celtics.
And the 76ers just so they lose.
What a great fan.
Look, we just know how this goes, right? How many times have we seen this play out?
Like, I knew before we came here when we were still at the park, I knew exactly what you were going to come on here and say. It's over.
It is.
Like, there isn't a whole game.
They had a chance to close it out at home. They were up 2 going into the 4th. And then we all saw Jason Tatum decided to start playing basketball. And
That's my guy.
tomorrow is the 10-year anniversary of when the Sixers hired Sam Hinkie. And they have 0 conference final appearances to show for it. They have 0 finals appearances to show for it. They have like 2 second-round appearances. I think the best series win of the entire process was when... Actually, that was before Hinkie, when they upset Derrick Rose.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2012, right? Yeah, that was... So yeah, this team is unserious, and they had a chance to close it out in Game 6 at home with a horrible Tatum shooting 8. He's not going to do that again. There's no way. There's no
Not in Game 7 at home.
way Tatum is going to do that again. And Malcolm Brogdon, I'm calling it now, is going to absolutely go off. It's going to be like...
I love Malcolm Brogdon.
He's so good. It's going to be like when Grant Williams went off a couple of years ago versus Milwaukee.
It was last year.
It was last year against. It feels so long ago, but yeah, it's going to be the Malcolm Brogdon game.
Grant Williams shot 15 3-pointers.
Yeah,
in that Milwaukee game.
Brogdon's going to shoot 12. He's going to make 9 of them.
No, but we'll get back into the Sixers later.
Do we have to though?
We'll give our predictions for tomorrow's game. But we can start off with the other side of the bracket with the Knicks in Miami, from playing to the conference finals for both the Lakers and the Heat.
Which is crazy.
But we can start out talking about the Heat because nobody on this podcast thought the Heat were going to do anything at all.
Nope.
To be fair, I thought they were going to play the Celtics round 1. So,
I think I did too.
Yes.
Because they were in the play-in, and if you had them winning a certain game, they were playing.
Yes, but when you have Jimmy Butler going a run like this, I mean, with the guys surrounding him, you gotta give him respect. You really do. You really do, because Eric Spoelstra, he's only won the one co-coach of the year in 2017. They deserve more flowers. Honestly, it is not easy, the run that they've had.
I picked the Knicks, but it just seemed because Julius Randle was an absolute no-show for the most part. Yeah. But the Knicks need to definitely move on.
Can we just stop and talk about the tweet that I just looked at?
Monty Williams just got fired.
Yeah.
Monty Williams just got fired live on podcast.
Live on the podcast. Monty Williams gone.
Wow, I did not expect it.
Wow.
I really didn't either. No.
Let me add that to the notes.
What the fuck? That's crazy.
Yes.
Well, now Nick has something else to talk about.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. Yeah. We'll get back to that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just...
No, yeah.
That felt big.
But,
wow.
Like, Julius Randle, like, the Knicks' next step is definitely to go make a big-time move. They have the assets to do it. Julius Randle definitely needs to be gone. I think RJ Barrett's somebody you do keep just because he is still young. But he's also on that borderline. Like, if you had to trade him, I think they would.
Mm-hmm.
But you have, like, Jalen Brunson against that Miami Heat defense, like, did all he could. It's just Julius Randle, he has the same, like, demeanor as DeAndre Ayton in a way. Like, when Julius Randle, his shot's not falling, he's a wrap, more out through the floor. Like, it doesn't even matter. He got benched in some of those games against Miami as well. Like, the Knicks are a very good team and they're very well coached, but they definitely need to make a big time move because you have Brunson and you need to put somebody with him. And I think they have the supporting cast. And I think Julius Randle can go out and get you somebody, especially because they do have the picks and everything else. I don't know what kind of player they go look for. Maybe possibly a Jaylen Brown or something of that nature, just because he's like the main star that's like out and about at the moment because of his contract. But they would have to trade for him, and the free agency class isn't looking that crazy. So they would definitely have to go out and make it some kind of trade. I just don't know who fits that system well that they could go get.
You know, I know they beat him, but imagine this Knicks team if they had Donovan Mitchell. I mean,
they could have.
They really could have. And I know that the Knicks beat the Cavs, but the Cavs kind of overperformed, and it was just a bad matchup. And I don't know what the Knicks are going to do. They had a successful year, and Jalen Brunson is a guy that you can build around. But I am out on RJ Barrett. I know you still got some hope for him, but man, he was a minus 17, like on off, like the series.
That's my prediction. That's like my kind of hot take is that like if he would have kind of the Andrew Wiggins kind of role, like story, I guess. So where like he's in a situation, he's not playing bad, but he's not playing to his expectations. But you put him on a different situation, a different team, and he like turns out to be, now he's a great two-way player now. Wiggins is more offensive now. Wiggins is a great two-way, kind of that kind of situation. But might get brought up a lot. They could go get Damian Lillard. They have the young talent too, and you could say fit or whatever. They were already playing Brunson and Quickly on the court at the same time a lot.
Yeah.
So like the fit in the backcourt wouldn't really matter as much because they're already doing something like it in the first place. It's just you have Damian Lillard, but Knicks just have the young assets to go trade with a team like Portland that just could use just more young talent to just figure out what they're doing, especially if Portland messes around, gets to the number 1 pick. So it could be interesting.
Obi Toppin has definitely improved his stock. He's played very well, especially considering his rookie year was really not that good.
Yeah.
So he's improved his stock a lot. And no, you're right. The Knicks absolutely could go get Damian Lillard, but
realistically, they probably don't.
Not. I think they're just.
What about Kawhi Leonard?
Ooh.
It depends on what the Clippers do, like how they go. Because they're a team that they could just easily just run it back and just hope they get healthy. Because if they were healthy, they probably were gonna give the Suns a better run, and they probably matched up better with Denver than Phoenix did. But they're just playing the health card. Yeah. Like if they're just risking it, running it back year after year, hoping they're healthy.
I mean, depending on what they can get back. I mean, you just run it back with Paul George. I mean, you can get RJ.
Could probably get Obi.
Oh, you can get Obi.
You probably bring back Russ at that point if you're getting rid of Kawhi. Because Russ had phenomenal games.
I don't know. I don't know what Kawhi's value would be looking like. Maybe get a few first rounders out of him. Maybe.
Maybe one with his injury history.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Knicks still have an overabundance of picks, so they might just kind of sweeten the pot a little bit with some seconds or something.
That would definitely
That's someone I could see.
Be a good move for the Clippers to kind of reimburse their picks that they've lost over the years.
But you still have Paul George. You're still going to be a good. I mean, they have good depth.
Mm-hmm.
You're still going to be a good team. You still have a chance to make a run. You know.
Yeah.
If you'd have to pray on RJ Barrett improving, and your young guys to keep playing well.
Kawhi Leonard also has like he's from LA, so where like he's probably the person that wants to retire there.
Don't care.
I just don't know like what does a package, even if it's the Knicks, like a package for Kawhi for them to go get him, like how's his value? Do you determine like, all right, so he's gonna miss this amount of games every year, or that just talking about next season, he's gonna miss this amount of games, you're gonna have to load manage him, you're gonna have to do all this extra stuff. When you get Kawhi Leonard to where is it even worth it? Because we saw this year, load managed, still got hurt in the playoffs.
If there's a way that they can keep Julius Randle, maybe. I mean, they still have okay depth. I mean, if they're sending away only RJ, let's say it's RJ and Obi Toppin and picks, you still have, they still have okay depth. You can hope that Kawhi plays 55 games.
Yeah,
and I think for those other 25, you could be okay and still end up with a top 4 seed.
The thing is, though, about trading for Kawhi is that he's getting paid $45 million next year.
Yeah, that's where.
And he's got a 15% trade bonus. So if
he gets paid 15% more,
if he gets traded, is like
that's kind of crazy.
The opposite of a no trade clause. So.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't think Kawhi Leonard is going anywhere with that 15% trade bonus on a $45 million contract.
I didn't know you could do that.
No, we're talking this guy get paid $50 million, and for 50 games, you're talking $1 million a game.
I also have a hard time believing with how Tom Thibodeau coaches that he would just be fine with Kawhi Leonard.
Oh my gosh!
No, God,
like managing with how he coaches and everything. I have a hard time believing that.
It's the reason Derrick Rose.
See, like, I don't get that. You're playing Miles McBride, but Derrick Rose has been like Thibodeau's guy
Yeah.
at multiple locations in the league, and like
They're not
a
even
veteran,
Miles McBride, really.
veteran guard and a veteran point guard in D Rose that's been in playoff situations before.
And he really improved at 3-point shot. Too.
Yes, and then you have Evan Fournier, who's a veteran 3-point shooter in the league when you need spacing. That's the one thing I don't get. I think Tom Thibodeau is a great coach. I don't get why he didn't play D Rose and Evan Fournier when they needed shooting, when they needed somebody else who could create shots when Jalen Brunson was off the court. Because when Jalen Brunson is off the court, they are terrible offensively because it's either Julius Randle's on or he's off.
Yeah, Evan Fournier is a bum. So I can defend him on that.
But I'm D Rose though. I think
D-Rose
D-Rose
get
should
some PT.
easily
He
be
should've
released.
gotten some-
Especially when Quickly went down. When
I think-
Quickly got hurt, he
mhm.
should have easily been in the rotation. I don't get it.
I think D Rose would have thrived in a Russ type role for the Clippers. I think that is ideal for him, like a backup, spark plug off the bench.
Mhm.
I have no idea why
Phoenix,
Tibbs didn't
bro.
play.
Phoenix.
Phoenix would be great.
I thought D Rose was going to be just flipped come deadline this past year,
Same with
but he
Fournier.
never was. And then they continued to not play him. He wasn't playing at all. I didn't understand it. I think that's another thing that could have definitely. I'm not saying they would have won if they would have played D Rose, but
Yeah.
it could have helped the situation for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like the Kawhi Leonard shit would just be a reach, just because I don't think the coach Tom Thibodeau. I don't think he would be down for that for one, just because they know how his injury history is and how they coach. But the
Fuck
biggest
Tom Thibodeau. It's New York, baby.
It would be. So
It's New York.
funny.
Gotta make a move.
It would be really funny though. I kind of want to see it because
maybe
It would be sick though.
I
Kawhi
think-
in a new
Kawhi
in
and
the Knicks jersey.
man, the East,
He looked good in the Knicks jersey.
he's getting too good.
I think the only other possibilities is like Karl Anthony Towns. I think he's the only other star that they could go get that would fit on that team that is good defensively. You still have Mitchell Robinson, who is making significantly less money than Rudy Gobert, and it kind of does bring the same fit. But Mitchell Robinson is the guy that you're paying him so much money, you have to play him like a Rudy Gobert.
Mhm.
They've shown that they will bench Mitchell Robinson, put in Isaiah Hartenstein,
Oh yeah.
and kind of give a better fit next to Cat.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I don't know how I feel about Cat at the 4 spot. But I think Knicks, and I also don't know how Cat would fit with how big of a market New York is.
And he historically just has not shown up in big games, and that's what Knicks fans would expect of him, to be the anti-Julius Randle.
Yeah,
And when he's not that, I don't think that he would handle that reception well.
no, probably not. It's gonna be a very interesting offseason for sure. They definitely gonna need to address some things, but props to Miami
Yeah, they
for
sure.
one.
For sure.
with no Tyler Hero.
Yep, no Tyler Hero at all.
Which interesting is he gonna be back?
Miami was up next.
Yeah,
To talk about.
hmm
Can we just transition into that?
yeah, because
Just
Miami, I'm shocked. I'm surprised. Now you got Duncan Robinson out here making big time threes,
Finally.
playing more, and this is all. Yes, they have Jimmy Butler and Bam, but this is so much credit to Eric Spoelstra,
Yeah.
in my opinion. There isn't another coach in the league that would have they all their role players play with such confidence. Obviously, they beat the Bucks, and that gave them confidence in itself. But Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, and Max Strus, those guys are all so confident when they're on the court compared to other role players. When you look at, for example, Phoenix and their depth and their situation, you didn't see a lot of those guys coming in the game with so much confidence like Miami's role players
Except
do.
for Terrence Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's just gonna shoot it regardless.
Terrence
But
Ross sucks.
Dude, Terrence Ross. Nah, he came in. He got some good minutes in.
Didn't do anything?
He made a few threes.
That's what he's gonna do.
I don't believe
Yeah.
it.
Actually, I think he got a good amount of threes up.
I think
I need Magic Terrence Ross back.
Magic.
I need Toronto Terrence Ross back.
Yeah, rap.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Eric
360
Spoelstra,
dunks. Come on
to
now.
me, yes, he's got bunnies. So is Eric Spoelstra, I'm sure. But
Probably.
Eric Spoelstra, he just is so good that he's just not going to get the credit he deserves. I mean, because I think Coach of the Year this year going to Mike Brown, taking
Yeah.
Sacramento
That makes
to the
sense.
playoffs for
Yeah.
the first time in 20 years.
And the Heat were bad pretty much
Yeah,
all regular season
exactly.
until the play-in.
So if there was a playoff Coach of the Year award,
They lost their first playing game.
and
So
that's
even in the playing, they were playing
home,
their shit.
at home lost their first
Yeah.
playing
to the
game.
Hawks.
So
This team has had an insane turnaround in the past few weeks, and Eric Spoelstra, he's kind of like Belichick. Belichick hasn't won a Coach of the Year in a long time, but we all recognize that Bill Belichick is a fantastic head coach.
Mhm.
Eric Spoelstra is that level of greatness to me. I mean, he's got 3 titles? 4? How long?
3.
at least as a head coach. He was with Miami when
Mhm.
he won with D Wade, so I gotta give Miami
no,
their
he has
props.
two. He has two. Miami won two.
Okay, but he's got the other one with the D Wade then as like an assistant.
Oh yeah, three. Yeah, three.
So
yeah.
I did not see this coming. I don't, like we said, nobody saw this team coming, and
No.
Nope.
they have every shot in the world to make the finals again. Against the Sixers or the Celtics, they are good enough to win. I don't know if they will, but they are definitely good enough to pull
They're
off the upside.
they're definitely confident against both Philly or Boston because they've proven they can match up well with Boston, and I think Philly would give them, just because both teams play that slow down style. And I think Miami loves to play that way and grind games out. I think they would be great matchups for both, and I think they give both teams problems for sure. I think more so Philly than Boston, just because Boston just has so much depth coming off the bench, but Philly likes to play slow. Miami likes to play slow. It would be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Duncan Robinson becomes unplayable in a Celtics Heat series because he's just going to get roasted by Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum on the perimeter.
I think they want to play y'all more than Boston, in my opinion, just because of how Boston does play.
Yeah.
Just because they already wiped them.
Because Boston's a better team, yeah.
But we can get into the Suns. Pretty sure that was next.
Yeah, and breaking news kind of was breaking news.
Yeah.
Parting ways.
Because apparently Steve Kerr's not getting a contract extension either. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna start this narrative. Steve Kerr
to Phoenix.
Suns?
He was a Sun, right? Or did he just he went to Arizona? That's what I know.
He was a GM for the Suns.
Really?
Way,
I know
way
he has
back. I'm
ties.
pretty sure. Yeah.
I know he has ties to Arizona. He went to Arizona. That's where he went to college, and he worked for the Suns. So you know,
but that's kind of.
He managed his stars well, and he's coached Kevin Durant.
I don't think they'd get, because I don't see Steve Kerr going anywhere.
They said they weren't.
Yeah, no, we don't even have to entertain this.
Yeah,
Steve Kerr's not going anywhere.
I don't think he's going. But I'm honestly surprised by the Monty Williams stuff because of how early it kind of came out. I was thinking they're gonna really like settle it down. Everything's too hype right now on them. They're gonna wait till off season, assess there. And I still thought, I was like, Monty Williams could be gone, but I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him back because his conflict with DeAndre Ayton, and I feel like they have to understand where I have the analogy of last year, Sixers, where you make a big time move at the deadline, kind of gut your roster out, and then you go into the playoffs having depth problems and everything else. That's what happened to them. But I feel like it was too early to fire him at that point because he didn't really have a full roster built around KD and Booker. Mm-hmm. And then you had Chris Paul get hurt. You had DeAndre Ayton, going through his shit. So I'm surprised they fired him, in my opinion.
I'm with you. They were far from a finished product. A full off season would have given this team a lot more juice, and I think really would have been a make or break year for Monty Williams. Mm-hmm. It feels a bit premature, but maybe they got some in the works,
I think it's also because of how they went out the past 2 years.
That could be it, too.
I think there's a lot of reasons. And I think the way we've gone down the past 2 years is definitely one of them. Even in the finals, like the fact that we couldn't do any sort of adapting to Giannis at all. I think that's part of it. I also think the new ownership has something to do with it. Matt Ishbia came in. Something I honestly wouldn't be surprised about is I don't think Monty maybe wanted to do the KD trade.
Ooh, interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised by that, and I don't know. It just seems like Monty Williams didn't really want to be there at the end of the season. I don't know if you guys watched any of his post-game interviews or anything like that, but towards the end of the season, he just did not look like he was having a good time.
So do you
and I know we were struggling. We had no KD, and we had just traded away Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson, so we obviously weren't winning as many games at the time. But he just looked like lifeless. Like he didn't really want to be there. This thing with DeAndre Ayton obviously doesn't help. I don't think that's a sign that we're keeping DeAndre. No. I mean, maybe we do, but I don't think we do. I think he's got to be gone too.
He said he wouldn't mind staying, but of course, everyone's going to say that when they're asked point blank.
Yeah, of course. I don't think he wants. We all know. I think we all know he doesn't want to be there.
Body language says otherwise.
Teammates also started towards the back half of the year. Reports were coming out about teammates of DeAndre Ayton starting to see what Monty Williams has been seeing this whole time. Oh. He's not just talking about the Suns in general outside the Monty Williams stuff. It's more so when you looked at their roster, I could understand. I could agree with people of like, okay, they got Phoenix going to the finals. They got KD Book, and it's like they got Chris Paul, but like they needed DeAndre Ayton without the depth that they used to have with Mikal, Cam Johnson. You add KD, they needed DeAndre Ayton to be minimum 18-8 a night. You want 20-10, and it's more so an effort perspective because Jock Landale will come off the bench and give them a lot more effort and energy.
It's insane.
And it's crazy.
They're like the style that they play in is so different.
Yeah,
He just shows so much more heart than Aiden.
it's just my personal opinion, I don't think Aiden or Chris Paul is on this team next year.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Aiden's probably, or not Aiden. CP3 is probably playing in Tawan with Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard did tweet at Chris Paul.
He could be Tawan.
Fuck.
He said something.
Ni hao,
about it,
Chris.
He said some shit like if he didn't go to the final quarter, he would go to Dwight Howard and play.
Yep,
Like
he did.
Taiwan.
Dwight's like, hey,
And he's all right.
we got a spot for you. But the Suns too, they only have a second round pick this year. I think Aiden does get moved and they kind of try and rebuild because there aren't any small forwards in free agency. Dylan Brooks is unironically the best small forward in free agency.
Yeah,
Like it's him, it's Jay Crowder, I don't even know who else.
but they don't need anybody like crazy. They need a plug and play guy, 3-and-D guy that's just gonna do his role, do his thing.
If Dylan Brooks can like put his head down and like stop all the antics and stuff.
No.
When he wasn't
so
talking and being bad, he was a background player. He was in shots, playing good defense.
Yeah, he made an all defensive team. See, Dylan Brooks, like for as much like slack like he's gotten just for his antics and everything else, like a team could value him.
He's still an NBA starter.
Just because of his defensive ability.
He's still an NBA starter, but not on my team.
Fair.
See, this is a part where we kind of bring up the Damian Lillard shit again.
Oh man,
because
no.
Damian Lillard.
No.
It could have like I don't think they go that route because I don't think they want to gut this roster anymore. But like, what are your teams that you think would gauge value
the Blazers
in DeAndre Ayton?
In Ayton, I think if Philly loses tomorrow, I think they at least make a call and see like, hey, what's your price? Because they know Harden's gone, and they know Embiid wants out if they lose. So
that's a stretch.
That's a huge stretch.
That's the MVP of the league.
It's the MVP of the league who has been through 10 years of nothing but.
We can make a call.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I don't know. Boston,
Jalen Brown.
they love their big men
No,
though.
that would not work.
Rob Williams, Al
It'd be
Horford.
Rob Williams.
No.
It'd be Bob Williams.
Time Lord is very good.
We got our picks, and
But like
they're gonna suck. But
I think he'd still be unhappy. DeAndre Ayton wants to be not the hub of the offense, not the number one option, but he wants his post touches. He wants to be able to operate on the block.
He's gonna get it.
But like with the Celtics, I feel like you guys are so much better when you have a guy like Al Horford that can stretch out and shoot the three and allow so many lanes for Tatum and Brown.
Ayton can shoot the three.
No, he cannot.
No.
Aiden cannot shoot the three.
No.
He like physically can shoot a 3-pointer, but
He sucks.
That's
He doesn't shoot threes, and he sucks. That's what he does.
He needs to go somewhere where he can really
would
be a focal point of the offense. Because even when like Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson were there, he never felt like a focal point, somebody they went to in the offense. Because I feel like there's a lot of times where they don't really utilize DeAndre Ayton like they probably should.
I think it fell off a lot when we made Devin Booker more of the primary ball handler. Because obviously Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton are going to do that pick and roll thing 20 times a game if they can.
Yeah.
I could see. Yeah, he signed an offer sheet with him already, so I could see Indy making a move because Halliburton is a fantastic playmaker. He has really developed into a great player.
Yeah.
Only reason why I wouldn't say that is because Miles Turner did just get the extendo.
Yeah.
Well,
and I don't think
they're
they
making similar money though, right?
Or
You could probably just swap them.
Probably.
if they
I would
want to
take
do
that.
if they want to do that.
Well,
Indy's interesting. I think Indy would be interested. I think a team like OKC also.
OKC too. I'm trying to think of a
I don't
spot
think OKC would be
where Ayton could be the focal point, but like there's
not many places.
Like you think maybe Portland, but Dame doesn't make any sense for Phoenix in my opinion. I just don't think there's just already too much star power.
That was also just a reach.
Yeah, there are not any good spots for Ayton. He needs to learn how to shoot the 3-pointer. He's got to get better at it. Today's game.
I don't think he can. He's
No?
addicted to that little like 10-foot
he
fucking fadeaway
I thought he
back
could
back to
shoot
the
a little in
basket.
college. Maybe I know
He
it's shorter.
he sucks at 3-point.
I don't think he shot threes at Arizona.
He does not shoot
didn't.
threes.
He didn't.
There's no way.
I think maybe it was like he has the touch. If he wants to, he could like stretch his range out there
No.
I don't think so.
if he worked at it, which
I
he
don't
clearly
think
has
so.
not done.
I really, he's just so dude. I don't know.
I do. I think it's either OKC and Indiana. I think those are the top two because when you're really looking at OKC, they have so many picks to unload. And they have a couple role players that Phoenix would probably be interested in.
But do you want to unload it all on Eaton?
I don't think you would have to unload it all
You wouldn't
because
have
of
to
his
unload
value.
all of it.
Because of
No.
his value.
Even all of that? Though?
I would
Why don't
if
you
I'm
just roll with,
OKC.
what's his face? You have Chet. Why don't you just run Chet at the 5?
No, you can't run Chet. I think Chet's a 4. You can't run Chet at the 5.
I think OKC probably waits though because they have a shot. Do they? No, they don't.
No, not anymore. Not a realistic. I mean, they have a chance because they didn't make the playoffs.
Mhm.
They were in the play-in and they got eliminated, but they have like a slim to none chance.
I wasn't sure if.
But that's
what about
better
the-
than for Victor Wembanyama. That seems like it's
Yeah.
better than nothing at this point.
He owned the Spurs.
I
hope so.
love Portland. I ain't gonna lie. If Portland can somehow go from 5 to 1, that'd be insane.
I think in a Portland trade, you would maybe even not ask for Dame, but for Anthony Simons and run Point Book full time because we've seen Point Book full time.
can.
It works.
You
Point Book
can.
is very good,
He can
and
pass.
You can have KD bring it up sometimes.
Simons
Ooh.
is. I think he's a star. Like in waiting, like there are numbers and trends that show that when he has like full possession of the rock, he is putting up very good numbers on really efficient splits. He's shooting smart shots defensively. There's room to grow, but he's what 6'6"? He's tall. He's got a good wingspan. I think at this point Aiton's value has fallen. I don't know if he's worth Dame.
No.
And I think
No,
if Portland is super desperate to be a contender like Dame wants them to be, I could definitely see an Ayton for Simons and role players.
Maybe for sure. I don't know. Because at this point, I feel like Chris Paul's just gonna get traded and then bought out and then go wherever he wants to go on the mid level.
Probably.
If he's not
That's what I
just
would do.
bought out straight out, right?
Because he's on a partially guaranteed contract to where if they bring him back next year, the contract's gonna be like $30+ million. So I
That's
feel
so
like they're gonna
crazy.
try. I feel like they're gonna do what they can to try to move him, and then he's gonna get bought out, and then he's gonna go wherever he wants.
Who gave him that contract? Was it
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix extended him the year
So
after.
Did we?
crazy.
Yeah,
After they got him.
Damn.
because we talked about it. We were talking about.
Oh
the
no,
back-
yeah, you're. I was
We
like,
were
what?
talking about the back half of the contract. I was like, it's gonna be
Man.
looking scary,
And
and now we're here.
Now we're here.
Now we're
And
here.
it's
pretty
bad.
spooky.
Fuck.
They are in
Thank you for your service, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
But it's time to go.
Yeah,
It's time to go.
the.
Monty's so shocking. I can't.
I
That's
really.
pretty crazy.
I don't know if I like that move. Really,
It's very early.
I think that's super early.
I think you at least give him one more year.
I don't even know if you'd had to give him this year, but it just sends a weird message.
I do
Firing
kinda,
him this early.
I kind of am like leaning towards what you said earlier about him not wanting to trade Bridges and Cam Johnson.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted
I
that.
think he even expressed that. Like I think he said something like he cried when they traded Mikal Bridges, and he's never cried when they got rid of a guy. before.
because with new ownership, very aggressive. Soon as he got there, they made the KD trade. I feel like he's just boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, we're gonna see soon as offseason starts, Ayton gone, Chris Paul gone. They're gonna have a new coach. I don't know who that's gonna be just yet, but like
Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse is going to be an option for them. It's just going to be very interesting to see what they do this offseason because of how aggressive new ownership is.
I also think we're going to flip like a lot of the roster.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
It's going to be
crazy.
KD Book
It's
and
gonna
a
be chaotic.
very different roster. I think maybe the only guy that you bring back, and I think you guys should bring him back, is Campaign. I think Campaign is just the perfect guy.
no.
I think he's just the perfect guy for you off the
No.
bench.
Campaign
no.
is solid, man, and he's
yes,
familiar
he
with the
is
system.
solid, but like no. I need someone who can break that ceiling. He's not going to do that.
But he's off the bench, though.
Yeah,
Off
he's
the bench.
spark plug. You know, you don't.
I need a better spark plug.
Your
You
roster,
can never have a good enough spark plug.
your
I need
roster
a better one.
turnout will be comparable to what kind of coach y'all get. When you see what kind of coach y'all get, that's how you feel like, okay, I see why they got this person, that person, got rid of him, type stuff.
So I think personally, Nick Nurse is going to Milwaukee. So I think he's just off the table because Nick Nurse just fits so well in that culture with a guy like Giannis being the 6'11" terror that he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you scratch his name off. But who else is there? There's Budenholzer.
No.
Do we? No. There's
No.
I'm not even sure who.
Mike D'Antoni.
Mike D'Antoni. He's worked
I
with
don't think about-
the Suns before. Granted, it was like
I think it's good to go.
Yeah.
I think it's too early. I feel like once the offseason
Wait
gets
a little
around,
bit. Yeah,
I
wait a
think
little bit.
Where's-
you're gonna see a lot of coaches
where's Dwayne Casey?
get out of there. Still with Detroit?
They fired him.
Watch
Oh yeah, they did part ways.
in like
They
a
did.
month, we're gonna sign like Steve Nash.
Ooh.
It's like, great, here we go.
No,
As
no.
point guard, right? Not as a
Amari
coach.
Stoudemire.
Who
Maybe we'll
knows?
get JJ Redick.
Yeah, we'll get JJ
JJ
Redick as
Redick.
our coach.
That would be interesting.
That would.
Because
Raptors
he-
might be getting him.
Yeah,
I don't think they will. They're too smart for that.
JJ Redick as a head coach is going to be kind of crazy.
I think I would have to
Like it'd
see
be
how
a
it
good
plays
coach.
out. I would have to see how it goes.
He doesn't
And
even
it depends
look
on what
weird.
team he goes on.
Yeah.
Because like, if he went to the Suns, I think he could definitely do a lot more than it would be with Toronto. Because I feel like Toronto's at that midpoint, and I don't see them breaking any kind of ceiling to get back to the finals picture anytime soon, unless they make a big time move. But like Phoenix would be interesting because he's played the game. He's a player's coach, so I feel like he has a way better understanding of how to really connect with guys, and I think he would do great in Phoenix. But I don't know. That's just also a conversation to have later on.
Yeah, and at the same time, we saw how Brooklyn and Steve Nash in that experiment it totally
Yeah.
collapsed. So maybe I feel like teams are going to be a bit more weary about hiring former players as a coach right away.
Oh, yeah.
JJ Redick, I don't know what coaching experience he has outside of like coaching his kids, you know? So
Yeah,
the Suns are just kind of in an impossible situation.
Just feels weird.
It being a second round exit was not what I expected of this team.
but we can.
was also a second round exit.
No, we were going to talk about Denver,
Oh,
and then we're going to jump back to that side.
okay.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
We'll wait on it.
But just like Denver's that team where a lot of people are sleeping on them, but then you watch them and then you're like, wow, this team top to bottom, very good. They have yes, I was one of them. They're proving me wrong. Like they have high quality role players. Jokic is looking like the best player in the world. Like he's unstoppable.
Yeah.
And
It's
even with
just
their
so crazy, like to watch Jokic play, because like if you go up against people like DeAndre Ayton, he just like makes it look so easy.
yeah,
Like goes in the post, just a little baby, left hand, right hand, doesn't matter. It just goes in every time. And then like he'll sag off him at the 3-point line. His ugly jump
Just
shot that
behind
comes to
the
the
head.
top of his head.
Yeah.
They just go in.
I'm reminding myself of the video where Aiton's just standing by the photographers watching Jokic just put up like 3 tips in a row, and then he's like, "What do you want me to do there?"
this team is prime ready. Like when they were last time they were fully healthy and they made a run, it was the bubble and they got to the conference finals. And now they had the injuries with MPJ and Jamal Murray. Now they're fully healthy, back in the conference finals. Like it's not shocking, but like has the teams they were playing, they had to go through Suns with the Clippers. Most people were gonna take the Suns just because KD book. Like it's a trend, right? But like Denver was just the better team. Like they were just the better team.
Top to bottom.
And like I think obviously the way the Suns went out, obviously tough when they got blown out like that. But like at some point, like I'm gonna kind of touch on when we get to the Warriors, I think Devin Booker just got fatigued from having to do everything on the
everything.
point guard level, especially when Chris Paul went out.
He could only do so much.
No, and I think KD wasn't fully comfortable yet.
No, he wasn't.
He didn't look fully comfortable. I think, like I said, I thought that it was just too early. Like I brought up the Philadelphia when they got James Harden, I think it was just too early. They need an off season to really get a full team around them, and I think they'll be fine. But Denver was just a better team, and they had the best player in the series.
Mhm.
And their offense is really clicking. Like you
Yeah.
said, Jokic, I think right now it's not debatable. He's the best player in the world. Embiid has just not looked great. Giannis is out, and even when he was in, he just looked not good. But Jokic, he averaged 39, 12, and 10. The first 30-point triple-double in a series since Wilt. I mean, come on. This guy is just an unstoppable force in offense. And even defensively, too. He's really picked up his effort. He's playing smart. He's not challenging when he knows he shouldn't. He knows he's not the most athletic guy, but he's still making effort on the ball, which is really it's making an impact. So
It does help that Jamal Murray's kind of exploding.
Jamal Murray's playing very well.
Exploding.
Michael Porter Jr.,
Michael Porter's making shots.
prime J.R. Smith on one end, prime Carmelo on the other. I love his
You
game.
have
And then
prime Aaron Gordon right
Aaron
now.
Gordon is so versatile defensively.
Uh-huh.
I think he's gonna be key for
I
the
love
Lakers
Aaron Gordon.
series. Key.
I was right about Aaron Gordon. Y'all clown me for that.
What'd you say?
That he was good and valuable to that team. I think it was just you, maybe, but
I said that Aaron Gordon is better than Jeremy Grant. That's my argument.
okay,
Yeah.
I agreed. So
I
maybe
agreed.
I think on
fully
this.
agree.
I think on this team.
That
like,
was the only
yeah.
argument I had with Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon, he is unironically very talented, and
Yes.
he fits so well
Yeah.
against or with Jokic. But even on a team, any other team, I think he would have been solid. The Magic were
I
just,
just think his fit with Jokic because he can play above the rim
Yeah.
and he can space the floor
Mhm.
and he can create a little bit off the dribble and go guard bigger forwards. Also stick with guards. Like he's a perfect player you want next to Jokic and then
He's-
KCP and Bruce Brown.
KCP is just doing God.
Christian
He's-
Braun,
he's
who's a rookie who's
Christian
getting
Braun.
regular rotational minutes and doing great. Like everything's clicking for
Mhm.
Denver right now, and they're gonna be very hard to beat.
even Jeff Green.
I
Yes, Uncle Jeff.
Uncle Jeff.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can bet against the GOAT, but Denver looks like an absolute juggernaut right now.
I think the Lakers are gonna have
I think
a hard time.
Yeah.
with them.
I
Completely different team than
I
the
don't want
Warriors.
to go into predictions or anything, but Denver looks really tough to beat right now. Just both sides, East and West. I think Denver. I don't know what the odds are, but are they the title favorites?
I'm
It was
not
you
sure.
guys.
It
It
was.
was Game 6.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah, it should be
I don't know
Denver.
what it is now.
Yeah, but we can make our picks later because we can
Yeah.
hop in. We can go ahead and hop into the other side with the Warriors.
There it is.
Losers.
Hold on, let me take a drink.
Yeah.
Losers.
Okay, Steve Kerr said it himself. This is not a championship team, which is insane for a
Which
head.
is crazy because they have literally the exact same team
Nope.
from last year.
Don't have Otto Porter.
Oh, damn.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
A minimum
damn.
role.
Otto Porter.
Oh,
Wow.
he's not playing.
Alright.
My bad.
All right.
Alright. So,
Yeah,
So-
take the floor.
God, it's
What went
just
wrong?
the Lakers were the better team, top to bottom. It felt like, especially the whole series. I think Game 1 changed the entire series. Like you can go back and forth of was it a good shot, was it a bad shot from Jordan Poole, but that moment right there changed the entire series because now Golden State gets out of Game 1. Now they're up, but other than that, it's just like I talked about Devin Booker. Like it seemed like last night Curry got fatigued. I feel like he kind of got absolutely
Because
gassed.
he's the only person who wanted to play.
He was the
Yeah.
Dante DiVincenzo.
He's trying.
Yeah.
Much love. He's the
Yeah.
only person that really, other than Curry, came to play.
I give
DiVincenzo
Wiggins a pass.
I got the
Yeah,
I got the
Wig-
box score right
yeah.
here.
Wiggs gets a pass.
Wiggs did
With
get a
his rib
pass,
thing.
and it seemed like when he first started the game, I was like, "Oh man, Wiggs does actually look like he's not himself
Probably
at the
can't
moment."
breathe.
And then, but it's more so everybody else. Like Game 6,
What Looney do?
Let's see. Kevon Looney, 26 minutes, 4 of 7 from the field, 18 boards,
That sounds bad.
9 points, 2 assists.
that's
He-
me.
You even get a good Kevon Looney game and y'all get blown out.
So what happened was first quarter couldn't make a shot, couldn't buy a basket out of really anybody, and then we got down, clawed our way back somehow to be down within like 5 or 6 at the end of the first. But it's more so everybody else. Curry did everything he
Oh.
could,
Yeah, he tried.
everything he could, and it's just I feel like he kind of got to the point where he got fatigued, and that kind of
His
led to him. He
defense.
probably had no legs.
Your
Yeah.
defense is just so bad.
We have no rim protection, which we didn't address at the trade deadline. Love Kevon Looney.
he's
Y'all know I got love for Kevon Looney,
Yes.
but like he's not
rim
a
protector.
rim protector. He doesn't really play above the rim. He's a small ball center, but he's versatile in other aspects rather than rim protection.
ESPN
That's why
doesn't
he
even-
works.
Yeah, they list him as a forward. They don't even list him as a center.
Yeah. So when we're looking at this roster, no rim protection, no wing depth. Didn't play Jonathan Kuminga a single minute, but Moses Moody has found his way into Moses Moody been playing good, found his way into the rotation. But I'm like, you're lacking so much wing depth. Like I know Gary Payton II plays a lot bigger than what he is, but you're lacking the depth and the ability to rebound the basketball. I think Kuminga, with his athleticism, could have came in the game. I'm not saying he's gonna stop LeBron or AD or anything. He's somebody you could throw on them to give Draymond and Wiggs a rest, and he could play above the rim. You could put him in the pick and roll and everything else like that. Decided not to play him. Jordan Poole played terrible all series. Klay Thompson had one good game of the series. Other than that, terrible. Draymond Green had a couple games in the series. Otherwise, terrible. Got
I
killed
think
by
the,
AD.
I think the Game 6 Clay Rhetoric needs to go away.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
It's holding on by one string, and it's the OKC game.
Yes.
That's from 2016 or 17.
It was 16, yeah.
Like, the rhetoric is gone.
It's just, it just sucks because of how much money he's getting paid, and the whole narrative is the Warriors dynasty over, blah, blah, blah. The same stuff they were saying last year before we won. But completely different year. This is the first time we have ever lost in the Steve Kerr era in the Western Conference.
That's crazy.
The first time ever. He is now
insane.
19-1 in the Western Conference. Insane.
And
If
LeBron
you
did
include the Eastern Conference, he's 19-2 because the other loss is also to LeBron James. So
Yes.
I wouldn't.
And Toronto.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, not
19-3.
everyone was healthy that game,
No.
that series though. So
No.
KD
Well,
was
what-
gone.
Still lost.
and Clay, I
And
just
Clay was
I-
Clay was gone.
I think LeBron just did LeBron things. I don't think the dynasty is over. You just got Bron.
Yeah, I think it's more so throughout the
You
series,
just accept
obviously. I think AD had a bigger impact on the series than
Clay
Bron did because of how much AD, because you couldn't go to the paint. We had to switch up our offensive scheme so much to try to get AD out of the paint so we can go to the basket. AD, mad props, played great. Bron, I expected this out of LeBron.
It's just so weird because like you guys have just never had an offense. Like it's basically like, all right, what player is going to take a stupid shot here? And
It's
then
more so Klay
that's
Thompson.
what I was seeing this playoffs at the least.
Yeah.
It's basically like, all right, yeah. I always see like players like getting mad at Clay or like Steve Kerr will, like put his hands on his head or like Draymond will be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, why did you shoot that?"
Mhm.
And then I don't know because it's kind of just like you walk up, pass it to Clay on the side, he shoots it, miss, come back down, give up a bucket, like come back down, Wiggins 3-pointer, miss, come back down, give up a bucket. Like it's very weird. I think you guys need like a facilitator, man.
It's more so I think we're too Curry oriented.
Yes,
Because when
very.
Curry is off the court, the offense just dies. Because when Jordan Poole's not cooking,
And Jordan Poole is doing nothing.
he was a liability
He's
on
cooking
defense. He was
nothing.
damn near unplayable in this series
Uh-huh.
because they would just go at him. And it's more so he was more playable last year because he had the offense going. This year he didn't have the offense going in the playoffs. It became unplayable. But they don't Golden State without Curry. They've never really had like other than like when they had KD and everything else. But when you look at those championship rosters, they had other offensive creators, Sean Livingston, Barbosa, off their bench, guys that could just give them some flow on the bench. They don't really have any real bona fide shot creators off that bench, other than Jordan Poole. Like we don't look at Klay Thompson as a shot creator whatsoever. We don't really look at Andrew Wiggins as somebody we're gonna get the ball to. I like when we give the ball to Wiggins more so, but we don't really give him the ball enough. Draymond's the initiator of the offense at times, but they leave him wide the fuck open because Draymond has the ability to score, but for some reason doesn't use his ability to score
I
because he
hate
gets
seeing
wide
that.
open layups half the time when
I
he
hate
does
seeing
play.
Draymond, like, if Draymond just didn't run a million miles an hour every time he had the ball, he'd be fine. Because there's so many times where he just runs as fast as he can to the
Just
basket,
gets so excited.
and then just like throws the ball up, and it's like he
'Cause-
smokes the layup.
See, that's my problem. I think the turning point, other than the Jordan Poole shot in the series, was in game 4 when we were trying to tie it up 2-2. And they ran the same play. Klay Thompson was supposed to come off a rub screen,
They
go to the
covered it.
corner. Draymond was supposed to feed him. Draymond has Dennis fucking Schroeder on him. Way taller than him, bigger than him. Had the wide open layup. Sees the play didn't work. Wide open layup, doesn't take it. Throws a fucking scary when you have a timeout remaining. Whatever. You somehow end up in a position where you have a jump ball. Somehow. You win the tip. Curry gets the tip.
And then
No
throws it out of
timeout is
bounds.
called. No timeout by Steve Kerr is called whatsoever. You have a time. Why don't you call a timeout and just try to draw up something else? If Draymond has that in that position, and for some reason, I'm scared to take the layup. For some reason, why I have Dennis Schroeder on me, and just all right, call a timeout because you had one, but he didn't take the layup, and then they get the rebound off the shot, and he's in front of the basket again and doesn't take it and passes it out to Curry again, who's at damn near half court.
Because that's what Draymond's thing is. He's gonna go down as the guy who passed the ball to Curry.
That's what he
That's
made
just
his
what-
living on. That was his whole job.
That's
during,
Yes.
you
This
know,
is why I say
2015.
Draymond would not be anything if he wasn't on the Warriors.
Yeah, it sucks that his legacy's kind of turning this
He's
because
passing the ball to the two greatest shooters ever.
yeah,
I just hate one of the things that I've hated, at least this playoff run. I love Draymond's podcast. I like listening to it, but I
too.
hate
Me
it
too.
right after
so
the
funny.
game.
It's awesome.
Right after the
I love it.
game,
It's fucking awesome.
like
He can't be.
like 5 minutes after the game, he's like, "Well, yeah, we lost."
it's just like I think some of it is just unwarranted, and like he came out and said that this isn't a championship group, which I gave them the benefit of the doubt because I am a Warriors fan. I understand it, but people also gave them the benefit of the doubt when they were playing bad all year on the road and everything else, the road record and everything. But they were like, "This is the Warriors, right?" But I think the Lakers were just a tough ass matchup for them because of AD and their size.
Like, but saying that like this isn't a championship group is just like an excuse.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know why you can't just say.
I don't think
fine,
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it either. It doesn't mean he's essentially the same lineup. You're
Yeah.
missing Otto Porter. Like I wasn't joking. You have the exact same lineup.
Yeah,
Like
it's just
Otto Porter was playing a lot of minutes, so he was balling out.
it's just
But
people
then,
aren't.
so Dante even doing even better.
It's you should not say that as a player,
I think
as a
that's a terrible thing
coach.
to say.
Yeah.
I think Steve Kerr was awful.
You just can't say that. It's just a bad look.
It's just
in my opinion.
I just think it was
But
a
remember, there's no failures.
no.
Only steps
Oh
of
my
success.
God.
First of all, so this isn't a failure.
This is just a step.
No, I mean
You guys getting blown out in Game 7. It's not a failure.
It's not a failure.
It's
yeah.
a step to success.
Of course,
for next
of course.
no.
And just take the
year.
same
You get a
step
promotion every year.
the next
You
year.
No.
just take the same steps next year, and you pay Klay Thompson $43 million and
Ooh.
Jordan Poole $28 million.
Oh, that's a
See, it's gonna be. See, it's very interesting, like what they have to do this offseason. Because if they must address
I feel like
the center position.
like usual. You guys are not gonna make any moves.
I don't think so either. I
Until,
think
until I see it, I'm not gonna believe it.
like it could just be because I hate to do the recency bias shit, honestly. Because like, yeah, Jordan Poole played bad this series, played bad in the playoffs, but like, I don't think I'm just so ready to write Jordan Poole off because of how young he is and how like he does kind of fit what we do if he just hones it in. Because when Jordan Poole, when Curry was out, was good, but like it's just I think it's the dynamic. I think they're way too guard heavy, way too. I think we need to fill out the roster, get some more wing depth, get an actual rim protector. I'm not saying you gotta get rid of Kevon Looney. Don't do that. But you need somebody that's just gonna cause problems in the paint, and they don't have that because it's a layup line on the Warriors. Because Kevon Looney's only 6'8",
Yeah.
Draymond Green's only 6'6", and those are the two guys that are protecting your rim. With how good of actual defenders they both are, sometimes you just can't protect the rim,
Yeah,
and that's what they need. They need an actual rim protector.
they need to get back to signing those minimum centers that they would do, like
JaVale
Yeah,
McGee.
JaVale McGee,
That's just-
Yes.
Zaza.
Cousins, Zaza. Yeah, like Mitchell Robinson would fit so
If
well.
you guys had Mitchell Robinson, that'd be kind of great.
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson
He'd
fits
help you guys a lot.
very well, and I don't know if he sticks around. He's been wanting out of New York for a while, and
Allegedly.
I think he's staying.
I think he'll
allegedly,
stay.
I think he's staying.
I think he was
Okay.
just mad.
Mhm.
yeah.
I think
There's a
I think he was a little mad.
There's a good amount of centers that are just sitting on somebody's bench. Like I'm not saying
Mhm.
like obviously JaVale McGee isn't the same player he was when we did
Yeah.
have him on the roster,
Yeah.
but JaVale McGee was just doing nothing. He could have gave us because he's already been in the system. He knows how we play. He could have easily stepped in, filled his role for about 10, 15 minutes a game. It's just
Even just the threat of a tall 7-foot
Yes.
person in the paint is enough to deter a small guard. But when
Yeah.
there's a guy who you can just put up a floater over, like like you said, layup line.
it's because they have Draymond Green. Thanks to address, I think he's gonna take that $30 million he's gonna get on his option anyways. Which
27.
it'd be dumb if he didn't.
Yeah.
Like he's just gonna do that. But I think you like you say, it's kind of the same roster. I think it's just they lacked the rim protection so much by playing a team like the Lakers. I think the Lakers were just all in all tough ass matchup when you have Bron and AD like that. But
AD actually playing.
Yes.
Like he's supposed to.
Every other game.
Yeah.
but like if they address the rim protection shit, and I think the Jordan Poole stuff, you're gonna have to kind of play that in the offseason, see what they do with that. Because I feel like teams will still kind of be interested in Jordan Poole just because how young he is, and he's on a long-term deal starting next
Mhm.
year. But I think it's gonna be very interesting to see what they do. Main thing I would say is definitely rim protection. You can't go into next year with no rim protection, and you need to get another actual creator either at the forward spot, somebody you can also generate offense through with Curry's off the court, because it's so stagnant when it's just Jordan Poole who doesn't have his offensive game going, and it just doesn't look good for them. So get some more shot creation and get a rim protector. And I think they could just run this roster back. Like they could easily just run it back, fill out the bench and get what they need more. But Golden State's also a team that doesn't really play it too aggressive. So I can see them doing a different number of things.
I bet they address the rim protection in the draft some tall Walker Kessler type. And Jordan Poole, he has always been a streaky shooter. Remember when he started? He went like 0 of 17 or something. He was shooting crazy low. They sent him down to the G League. He was shooting so bad. Like you said, I think it's too early to give up. Because look at Duncan Robinson. I was all the way out on him. Granted, he's got just one of those faces to me, but he's playing very well this playoff run. So I think Jordan Poole, he's going to build off of this and learn from it.
Yeah,
shooting the 3-pointer in the NBA is like being a specialist is one of the hardest positions to play. And when your shot's not falling, you get in your head and it gets worse. And especially for a team under a microscope like the Warriors, I think an off season will be good to actually go to Cancun and relax, clear the head.
I think it's also just like before we move on, but like I think it's bad because soon as the team loses in the playoffs, as soon as you go on Twitter, they need to move this person, get rid of this guy, clear this guy, fire him, fire that guy. They need to take this process slow. I think, like Monty Williams just happened, I think they took that process way too quickly.
Might be rushing.
Especially before they moved Aiden. Yeah. I think they moved it way too fast. I think this goes for every team that gets eliminated or whatever. You need to take that process slow. Because if you fuck up, move too quick, then you're like, oh, we get to the offseason. Oh, we could have got him if we would have just stayed pat. But I think people needed to take the process slow instead of first think, oh, you got to fire him, got to trade him, got to get him out of here. But I think that process needs to be a lot slower coming out of a playoff elimination where they lost in 6 games. To the Lakers, who were a better team, they matched up very well with us. They had defenders, they had length, they had size. So, but congrats to the Lakers. It's going to be a very interesting series when they play Denver.
So I think we already kind of covered that. Just Denver going to give them problems.
I think Denver.
Gonna,
AD and Jokic
is going to be such a good series.
AD and Jokic is going to be interesting.
I'm guessing we're all probably going Denver, leaning Denver.
I'm personally leaning Denver, but Anthony Davis is by far the best defender that Jokic has seen, and this is probably the best team defense he's seen. LeBron is locked in. Rui Hachimura is basically LeBron off the bench. This is going to be a fun series, but I just like I said, the Nuggets look like a juggernaut. Out
of all the teams left, who's including Philly and Boston? I know Game 7's tomorrow, but like out of all the teams left remaining, who's this kind of last thing we'll touch on? Who's the favorite? Who's your guys' personal favorite?
It's got to be Denver.
Yeah, for me, it's Denver.
I'm gonna go Boston.
Thanks.
I like it. Boston, they have all the pieces. I mean, they're very deep. They have
honestly just like
they got 2-star wings.
God, I was gonna pick whatever team over in that series is at home. So if you guys were at home, I would have said Sixers. I'm picking whoever's coming out of that series.
Would give us
so much work. East semifinals.
We'd have to put Rob Williams.
Valid.
Fuck Denver.
Bob Williams would get.
But I'm taking Denver to win this and then lose to Philly/Boston.
I'm leaning. I think. I think Denver is going to get the better of the Lakers.
No.
Yeah.
I think Denver's going to get the better of the Lakers. I think Denver's just rolling right now, and I think they have too much going. I think Jokic is just unstoppable.
I want the Lakers to win. It'd be cool.
I think it'd be cool to see
LeBron go back.
Yeah, it would be
rooting
sick
for the Lakers. Yeah,
like LeBron finally go back to the finals again.
Yeah,
like do all that kind of stuff. But
just when I whip out my calculator,
all around team.
I said in our group chat
bench.
Right before Game 1 of Warriors Lakers, I was like, we need to appreciate this before it's gone because this could be the last time we see. Who knows what the Lakers are going to be on because they were a playing team, but who knows how many more of these LeBron, if any, deep playoff runs we're going to get. And I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool for any of these teams.
I honestly didn't think we were going to get another one.
Now that you guys are eliminated,
they said that in 2015. They're like, LeBron's 30. He's
almost done.
You guys were the only team I didn't want to see.
I'm more so
just because I want to see someone cool in there. Not y'all.
I'm also on the same boat. I would love to see.
Now it's cool.
Any other team Miami be cool.
Yeah.
Philly or Boston would be cool. I think Boston could. I'd like to see Boston in there still. I think Denver. I really would like to see Denver. I think Denver and Philly would be.
That would be a very
why
fun
didn't they
final.
Sacramento and then just get taken out in the next one?
Lakers were going to kill Sacramento.
Yeah, that would have been brutal.
They were going to kill Sacramento.
Bonus would have. Oh my gosh, Anthony Davis would have done unspeakable things to him.
Yeah. But so
Denver.
you have Denver.
I got Denver.
I also have Denver.
You have Denver. You have Boston.
Yeah.
I think it'd be just a hilarious bit if the 1 year Jokic doesn't win MVP, they get a ring. Because those Denver fans would be so pissed.
I'm gonna go. I want to pick Philly just because I want to see Joel Embiid
They
and Jokic, but I don't. I'm so worried for tomorrow, Game 7. And
don't be worried. Just accept the loss.
No. There's a whole game to play. Whole 48 minutes. Whole 48 minutes. It's the James Harden performance, but I think if Denver doesn't win the chip this year, it's a disappointment. With how it's looking right now, you have the Lakers, obviously a tough test, but like when you're looking at the teams on the opposite side, like he's gonna have a field day with Miami or Boston. I think Philly would be a tough matchup just because Joel Embiid, but he's having a field day with Miami or Boston. So I think Denver has to be the favorite right now, but I think second has to go to like Boston right now as well.
Yeah.
Like Nick said, I think the second favorite is whoever comes out of that Boston-Philly series.
I think if Boston wins tomorrow, I think people are going to blow up the Miami Heat rhetoric. That like because the rematch from last year.
Oh, it would be a straight rematch of the bubble.
I think the Celtics will be on like strictly business, and like I think we'll just take them out easily.
Well, they just beat Philly.
Jimmy Butler is playing the Knicks. Who is going to guard Jimmy Butler? We have two of the best players.
You say the same thing about Jimmy Butler against the Bucks. That Drew Holiday, Giannis, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez.
Bucks are a different story.
I think Miami it's going to take 6-7 games.
I thought we could beat the Bucks. I always said we could beat the Bucks.
Miami's going to get.
I was never scared of the Bucks.
Miami's going to get. They're going to get 2.
With how they're playing, I think Boston, Philly don't matter. I think it's going 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And we'll be in the finals.
I think they favor the matchup against Philly more.
We get a Boston Denver finals.
If Philly manages to win, I think that series goes to 7 just because Jimmy Butler hates the Sixers so much.
Yeah. Oh, if Philly moves on, I definitely see a world where Miami wins and goes to the finals.
I could see it too, and that would. I don't even know how I would process that.
Or maybe it's just gonna go like the bubble,
and then losing.
And it's gonna be Lakers and Miami.
No,
so people really
will not be Lakers Miami.
Yeah, people want to see the least watched finals ever again.
I want to see the Lakers. I want to see LeBron get a ring. I just those Denver Nuggets, man, they look really freaking good.
I think I gotta go Denver. I think Denver's the leading candidate right now for me, honestly.
I think we can kind of skip over the next 76ers part because we kind of know. Because did they blow their chance?
They absolutely
did.
They absolutely
yeah,
did. No.
we can touch on that because I think they definitely this was they couldn't have asked for a better opportunity to win.
Yeah.
You're at home, Game 6. Tatum's
having
the worst game of his absolute life. Nobody on Boston really has it going, and you squander it. And you squander the opportunity.
That game was handed to Philly on a silver platter. And
Jason Tatum said, hold my beer.
No, the Sixers said, hold my beer. We're going to show you how to lose a game real quick.
There was a tweet. It was like, we really watched this man save his legacy in real time.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
he
man.
hit 3 straight threes on your best 3 players. He hit one on Embiid, he hit one on Maxey, and I think he hit one on Harden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, no, he didn't. He had step-back threes against nobody because they were letting him shoot. They definitely were.
I know he got one on Maxey for sure. He crossed the fuck out of Maxey.
He got one on Maxey because him and Melton, they stepped on the foot.
Over on Embiid.
I honestly, I tried to mentally block out
He
that
did.
game.
He did.
No.
He did.
At that point,
The third one I could be capping. I don't know where he is that one.
It's very possible. Jason Tatum loves to hit threes against Embiid. He loves to just destroy the hopes and dreams of Sixers fans everywhere.
I would too.
I don't see it going any different tomorrow.
They gave him the game at the end by not going to Joel Embiid.
No, and that is so frustrating. The final 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Embiid didn't touch the ball.
Nope. Harden was trying.
I did not know that.
He didn't touch the ball.
That's crazy.
Because Harden, he didn't pass the ball. He shot those deep threes.
On him.
Melton missed 2 wide open 3-pointers. I saw some NBA math. They do this thing where they evaluate the shot quality, and basically the Sixers had an insane level of shot quality in the final 4 minutes.
That's what Embiid said. He said they had a lot of shots.
But they just missed.
That just missed. Yeah, they had a lot of open shots.
If Melton hits one of those threes, maybe it goes a little different. I don't know. Going to Boston, Game 7?
Even in the last there's like still like a minute and change left, maybe 2 minutes. Like Philly already looked defeated. They just looked defeated. You could see on the faces of the players that they knew they just squandered an opportunity to go to the conference finals.
Yeah.
Obviously, still a whole nother game to play. I'm still riding with Philly because I had them winning the chip. I think they can still. They proven they can go into Boston and win. The key factor: what James Harden are you going to get? That's the question. That's
Who
what's
knows?
going to determine if.
No, we know.
Because when James Harden has it going, but they can't stop him on Boston. They can't stop him when he has it going. And when you add that with Embiid, but are we going to see it tomorrow? I don't. It's up in
Think
the
so.
air.
I just, like you said, Harden and Embiid in that pick and roll has really given Boston fits when Harden is on. When he is off, he still loves to shoot. He takes some really low IQ shots, which is unexpected for a guy, two-time MVP, scoring champion 1,000 times over. You'd expect him to know when to take better shots, but I don't know. And Maxey, he has absolutely played phenomenal this series. There's been a couple games when he's been bad, but I like what I've seen from Maxey. I just the future for this team is so murky.
But it ain't that far yet.
No,
Ain't got that far yet.
I still have another game, man.
Yeah.
10 years. I've seen this. Like 10 years. We know what's gonna happen.
No,
10
Isaac, you gotta have confidence.
I have 10 years of history to show me why I shouldn't have confidence.
I can't wait for us to be at work tomorrow.
I am honestly embarrassed that I got worked up, that I got emotionally invested in this team. You know? That's on me. Like, I know better, and I still got wrapped up. Like, that game 1 win, I was like, man, maybe. I even said on the pod, like, this might be the year. No, this is not the year.
Whole 48 minutes left tomorrow.
I don't...
Have some faith, man.
I got more faith. I think me and Nick got more faith.
you do.
than
Because
you do.
I've watched a lot of Sixers basketball.
You're a realist.
I am a realist. I'm a pessimist, too. I'm a
Talking to from a Boston Celtics
half
fan.
glass
You're a
empty
realist.
kind of guy, because that glass is straight empty right now.
There's some water in it. There's some water in that glass.
Look,
It's a little bit.
what are the odds that Tatum has shot like bad, not just the game 6, but like the first 3 quarters of almost every game this series? He's been pretty bad. I just don't see that happening again. Like, I think Tatum is going to come out.
That's Jason Tatum. You never know.
Blitzing Philly. They're going to come out aggressive.
Tatum and Doo-Doo Brown.
Boston at home is really tough to beat, and when they shoot over 40%, I think they're 39-1 now, and they shot 42% against Philly in Game 6. It's okay. I've mentally accepted the
You got
loss.
the MVP.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
That was your big thing.
It wasn't. The championship was. It's always been.
Well,
Duh.
it's a consolation prize.
No,
Because if Jokic would have got it, you would have been very, very upset.
because Embiid deserved it. Yeah, but I'm gonna be like I've already accepted that Philly's lost. So all the texts and stuff in the group chat, that was me dealing with the loss. That was me processing that team, because we saw Game 6. That was we've said it. That was the best opportunity they had of winning that series. I don't know what else there is to say. I don't think Doc Rivers is
He's like-
entirely
he's
to
like-
blame.
What's his record in Game 7?
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh,
it's like awful. isn't it?
bad. He hasn't won in Game 7 since like
Oh, yeah, Doc
like
Rivers.
like 2010, maybe even like I think maybe the last Game 71 was when he was with Boston as their coach. There's so much history against the Sixers. I'm just looking at the
Which means
facts.
you're all going to win.
Yeah, well,
No, because Boston and also Boston historically has just dominated the Sixers, like since the 80s. And I think it would be cool. This is the first year that they've done named awards. So I think it would be cool to see a Celtic win the finals MVP. So I guess that's something I'm potentially looking forward to. I don't think Doc Rivers is entirely to blame. And I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
Not entirely.
He didn't go out there and shoot 23% from 3.
No.
Like I don't.
That wasn't him.
sometimes there's not always just somebody point blank to blame. I mean, it's
No,
it's
it
a
goes
game-
away.
it's
It goes around.
a- yeah, it's a game
it's a
7
team
in the
game.
NBA. So
Tobias Harris has not gotten the slack he deserves. He had 2 points in that game. 0 of 7 from the field.
Boom.
Yeah, they're paying him $40 million. So he he deserves some. He might be part of to blame, but is this a hot take? I think Doc Rivers should come back next season. I would not be upset. I think Philly had a good regular season. I think they just, if they lose, they come up short. If they win, whatever. But if they lose, on the assumption that they lose and they evaluate their head coach, I don't think Doc Rivers should be fired.
But conversation for another
Big
day.
if. Not a big if, but
We'll find out tomorrow.
yeah, we will.
I don't know.
Y'all will. I know.
Doc Rivers, that dude sucks.
Yeah, man.
You guys want to wrap it up there?
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you guys for tuning into the Barrel Talk podcast. Hope to see you tuned in the future episodes.